Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about Lucid Motors, but before I start the video, guys, I just want everybody to know that everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It is just my personal opinion and for educational purposes only. So with that being said, let's get started with the video. So today we're going to be doing a video about Lucid Motors. Is Lucid Motors a good buy at $40.07? What is the future of Lucid Motors, and where do I see Lucid Motors going by the end of next year? Now, we know it's been a very good year for Lucid. Taking a look at the 1 week chart, it's up 0.23%. Taking a look at the 1 month chart, it is down 18.27%. But looking at the 3 month chart, it is up 81.93%. We see here that, Lucid was kind of trading in the $20 range for a little bit until it got this massive rally upward. And if we take a look at the 1 year chart here, it's up 301%. We see this huge run up here February 8th or 18th. That's kind of when rumors of the merger of Lucid and Churchill Capital were kind of going through. The minute the merger actually did go through, we saw the stock dip a little bit, basically went back up and then kind of just traded sideways the rest of the year. I'm not going to lie, it hasn't really been a too good of a year for these high growth EV stocks. A lot of them are trading pretty far off their all-time highs, but Lucid Motors has slowly been making its way back up, which is just absolutely amazing. I do think that Lucid Motors does have a lot of longer term potential, and there's actually a lot of good stuff going on with Lucid Motors in itself. I do think that Lucid Motors, in my personal opinion, is a good buy at $40.07 because I do see the stock potentially being able to hit $100 by the end of next year. Now, let's kind of dive in a little bit and see what's kind of been going on with Lucid, what they basically do have, going on in 2022. So if we take a look at it from a bigger perspective, we do know that Lucid Motors, there's basically talks that, Lucid is going to be on the NASDAQ 100, which is just absolutely amazing news. A lot of people are saying that Lucid Motors can become the next Tesla, which is just absolutely amazing. It basically expects to produce 500,000 vehicles annually by 2030. It's attracted a lot of attention over the last couple of years, just basically on its ambitious plans and its ability to grow. A lot of people thinking that, Lucid Motors does stand a very good chance of competing with Tesla and will potentially be Tesla's biggest competitor here in the United States. And here's the thing, if we take a look at it from a bigger perspective, if we take a look at the Lucid Air, in my personal opinion, it's a beautiful car. It's got longer range, and it's basically taking the technology aspect all to basically the whole new level. Being able to go 520 miles on a single charge is 100 miles over the Tesla Model S's longest range vehicle. So it does actually give it basically the upper hand. Now, Tesla is a EV giant, so I do think that Tesla is still going to be very tough competition, but I would not rule Lucid Motors out in general. Like I said, they're producing cars, they're selling cars, they're growing as fast as possible. They have huge expansion plans. And like I said, the EV market in itself is growing very, very rapidly. So people are taking the opportunity to buy the dip on a lot of these stocks, that are kind of trading away from their all-time highs. For me personally, I do think that the Lucid Motors does have the potential to be able to hit $100 by the end of 2022. And there's a lot of people shorting the stock. So a lot of people do think that the recent run up over the last 3 months, potentially has to do a little bit with kind of a little bit of a short squeeze. I do think that, if Lucid Motors continues to hit the trajectory that it's going, these shorts eventually do have to cover their positions. But you guys have to also understand as well, there's a lot of big time companies kind of rolling into the EV game. But Lucid in itself, in my personal opinion, does stand a good chance of actually being the next Tesla. There's a lot of people who are super, super bullish on Lucid. Yes, a lot of people think that Lucid Motors being, subpoenaed by the SEC. In my personal opinion, a lot of these EV companies are being subpoenaed, so it's honestly not that big of a deal in my personal opinion. But we have to take a look at it from a bigger perspective, guys. There's a lot of people out there who are super bullish on Lucid Motors, what the company actually does have in store for itself. And the company is growing relatively slowly. Like I said, a lot of these EV companies, you guys have to understand that, these are longer term stocks. These are not short term stocks that are going to blow up overnight. It's not one of these pump and dump stocks. These stocks are based a lot off fundamentals and what the actual company in itself actually has in store. But like I said, Lucid Motors is growing very, very quickly. It's trying its best to grow as fast as possible. And it continues to expand and it continues to make the right pushes. Like I said, we are heading more towards an EV world. But taking a look at the Lucid Air, like I said, it's the quickest, longest range, fastest charging electric car in the world. Right now, delivering 500 miles of range. You really can't compete against that. Yes, the price is a little bit of expensive on it, but in my personal opinion, I do think that Lucid Motors does stand the best chance of basically competing with Tesla in the United States. I also do, in my personal opinion, think that Lucid Motors is going to be one of the top competitors in the United States as well. I know we have Ford, we have General Motors, we have Rivian, we have Tesla, all these big time companies that are kind of rolling into the EV game, but I know that there's definitely going to be a spot for Lucid Motors up there. I do think that Lucid Motors does have the potential to hit on $100 by the end of 2022, and I do think that the company does have a lot of longer term prospects. Like I said, the fact that the company is, selling cars, it continues to expand. It basically wants to have 100 or 500,000 vehicles produced by 2030, and I know a lot of people, who bought Lucid Motors Churchill Capital at $10, $11, $15, and now it's currently sitting at $40.07. I do think that Lucid Motors does have a lot of long-term potential in the long run. I do think that the company is going to do very, very well. And there's a lot of people who are also super, super bullish on Lucid Motors and the whole EV market in itself. A lot of people can ask, but Lucid Motors hasn't really been doing well, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing is, guys, there's just a lot of external factors that are affecting the market right now. We see that there's a new bout of COVID running around. We see that there's, a lot of market uncertainty. We see that, the Fed is trying to raise rates, and that's why we saw a lot of EV companies fall last week, because if the Fed raises rates, then obviously that's not really good for high growth stocks in themselves. But there's a lot of external factors that are affecting the market right now. We can't let these blind us from the winners that are going to be booming in the next 2-3 years. But if you are buying Lucid Motors right now, just know that Lucid Motors is going to be a longer term hold. I do expect big things for Lucid Motors in 2022, but I also am expecting greater things in Lucid Motors, or from Lucid Motors, and 2023 and 2024 as well. But with that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. You guys let me know down in the comments section below, guys, what you think of Lucid Motors. Do you guys think Lucid Motors can hit $100 by the end of 2022? If you guys own Lucid Motors stock, how many shares do you guys own, and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.